Wait, are you feeling overwhelmed and anxious and want to save the world?
Let me tell you how we can do that with 1 gallon of water.
I'm walking, I ain't just talking. Listen all the way through, and I promise by the end, you'll be a changed person. Come on, let's do this together.
And hey, while you're at it, watch or listen to all my other videos.
They're deeply impactful table topics, sure to make you the star of the next gathering, or expose another perspective. Now on to the story! It all started in 1988. Yes, 88.
Let me tell you about the time that I saved an African country with 1 gallon of water. So, I was a little girl. I can't remember how old I was. It was maybe about 1989.
89.
And there were all these commercials that came on with all these little black children in Africa with big bellies and ribs showing and hungry and thirsty, flies all over their faces, and the look of absolute just sadness in their eyes, sort of a hopelessness. And the commercial said, "You can save a family for 50 cents a day. All you have to do is just give. Your $2.50 will help feed this family of 5 for 1 week." And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can do that. But then I remembered I was a little girl. I didn't have a job and I didn't have any way of giving them any money. But they were so hungry and they were thirsty. And the commercial said, if you just would give a little bit, it would provide clean water and food packs for these people. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I don't have any money, but I do have clean water. You know, I'm going to go to the kitchen and I'm going to fill up a glass of water because that's what they need. So I filled up a glass and I thought to myself, they're going to need more than a glass of water. They're going to need a big glass of water. So I went and got the biggest cup that I could get, which back in the day was like this really big liter cup that was like a big gulp or something like that from 7-Eleven or whatever. But no, I said, no, they're going to need more water than that. I looked to the side and I saw there was a gallon of water that was right there. And I said, okay, my auntie is going to get upset with me if I give them this water. So I'll drink this water that we paid for, and then I'll fill up the gallon again with some water from the tap, because the tap water is free here and we have clean water. So I'm going to do that. And then I thought to myself, how am I going to ship this water? Excuse me. How am I going to ship this water over to Africa? Well, I could take a plane. Well, I don't have any money to get a plane. How am I going to do that? And then I suddenly felt defeated. Because I have water and they don't. And there literally is an ocean in between us. So how am I going to get them this water? How am I going to do that? I felt bad about it. I said a prayer about it. I said that when I get a little bit older, I'm going to figure out a way that I can do that, because I want to feed this family of 5 for a week. And then I thought when I got older, I want to feed this family of 5 for a little bit more. And then I came across a passage that said, if you teach a man to fish, then he will go out and he, will fish, So I thought maybe I could teach a man to fish. And so that has been my lifelong goal, is to uplift people in the best way that I know how, without getting myself in too much trouble or debt and things like that, because if I don't have anything, they don't have anything, we don't have anything. But I had a we mindset. I was taught to share. I was taught that it is good to uplift people and not look down on them. Like if I could clean out some of those people's eyes with, my hand, just because they had lost all sense of just life. They were like, oh, these flies. And the flies just stayed there because they were tired of shooing them out their faces. And the flies, it's like the flies knew. The flies knew that if they stayed there, they'd be okay. So anyway, long story short, I thought that it would be a good idea to help people. And I did not think that it would be a bad idea to necessarily support people, but I just knew that that would take away so much from me, and it would be unsustainable, and I couldn't do it. So I had to do everything that I could do, and so there became my quest to get more in life and to do more in life, so I can teach more in life, so I could share and also be responsible at the same time. And that definitely helped me out in my life. And I try to teach and instill the same thing in my children and my nieces and my nephews and the children that I come across. I try to change the minds of people from a selfish mindset to a sharing mindset, an inclusive mindset. I try to do that. And, inclusive has become a bad word. I don't understand why inclusivity has become a bad word, but for whatever reason, here in America it has, and that has caused our togetherness to be fractured and to create a this versus that, us versus them, and it's bad. I knew back in the day when you won the lottery, everybody was like, oh, they won the lottery. We won the lottery. And it's like, no, I won the lottery. And don't get me wrong, I do understand why people would want to protect their assets and protect what they have and to stay rich. But one of the greatest people that I looked up to that was in the entertainment industry and that had money was MC Hammer, because MC Hammer had so much and he employed so many people and he gave so much. And I don't believe that he is rich these days, but that man back then, he was making a lot of money and people wanted to give him money because they knew that he was giving money. And it just became this wonderful cycle, and everyone who he crossed paths with remembers him and his generosity for that. See, because he went to the kitchen and he filled up a glass of water, and he gave that glass of water to the people who were around him and needed to be quenched of their thirst. And it was just magnificent. Like, that is what a money role model I feel like should be. Did he give away too much? Probably. But in the eyes of the people that he helped, in the eyes of people who were looking up to him, who had means and they wanted to be just like him, did he give up too much? No. And to this day, if that man, because I don't know, but I believe he does, because I think that it would make front page news, but if that man, if MC Hammer doesn't have a house, if MC Hammer, no matter how small it is, does he have a roof over his head? Does he have clothes on his back? Does he have food in his tummy? Does he look for his next meal? I'm sure that he has all of the above. And if that man wanted to eat, he can come sit at my table. He can come sit at probably your table. Someone else's table, he is welcome because of that generosity, whether or not he gave those people anything or not. Everyone knows of his generosity, his candor. Everyone knows of his open-heartedness. And those things, even though someone with a capitalist mindset might look and think, oh, wait a minute. No. I'm not giving away all of my money. They can look at that and think that. And they can say, no, this is mine. And they can become a Scrooge. And they can put all that money back up underneath of their pillowcase. And that money, yeah, is there. They have it. Yeah, they can probably live luxury. But the goal in life is probably not all to be rich. It is to have that family. It is to have that happiness. It is to not have momentary pleasure. It is to live a literal happy life that extends well beyond what you have in your bank account, but also the contentment that you have in your heart, and the community, and the just the lovingness that gives and radiates and permeates. That's happiness. And so that's why some people are absolutely happy with not being rich. As long as they have enough. As long as they know they're enough. As long as they know that they are taking care of their family. Enough or even more than enough. It's enough to be happy. Because that is what we all want. We want happiness. Happiness isn't momentary pleasure. Happiness is sustained. And if we all just shared more, then we all can be happier. So rich people have a lot, but the thing that rich people, I think, forget is that you don't need more. The reason why you're seeking more is because that's just greed. And you're thinking that that happiness that you are experiencing is coming from making money and putting money into the coffers, right? That's what you're thinking. But the fact of the matter is, that's just temporary pleasure. If you give, God is not going to take from you. You get that money back. Rich people, you get that money back. You get to claim that on your taxes. You get to have a deduction. God is going to give you more of whatever it is that you gave, because what you gave was from what you were given, and God is not taking anything from you. He is giving to you, and if you don't receive it in this world, you'll receive it in the next. How many of us want to have a good death? How many of us want to have a peaceful rest in the afterlife? How many of us want to have a peaceful grave waiting for Judgment Day? How many of us want to go to heaven? How many of us want to easily go to heaven? Well, your path to everything, happiness, and great here is belief in God and belief in His promise that you will be taken care of in this life and the next. And giving is one of the quickest and easiest and fastest paths to that happiness. Because that child that's on the screen right now, that I am looking at through my mind's eye, with the big belly and the skinny legs and the ribs that are showing and the flies all over their face, they're not just that one little black kid in Africa. They are almost an entire nation now. And they are in your backyard. They are the neighbor. And it's only getting worse. Here in America, our economy is doing great. But it's only doing great for the people at the top. The people at the top are not giving to the people below us. What's wrong with having some sort of a raffle that you'll pay off everybody's bills. That's a write-off for you. Why don't you do that? What is wrong with believing that what you give, you will receive 10 to 100 times fold? Where is that belief? It should be with you, and I hope that I'm reminding you of that. So give and give and give and help us out down here. Some of the most generous people are the people in the community that think about community. They think about their neighbor. They think about the next person. They think about that hungry person overseas. And we give. And we do. And we don't get tax write-offs. We don't. And sometimes we don't even get a thank you. But I don't need a thank you from the people who need and I am doing for. I need God to forgive me. I need God to have mercy on me. And I need God to know that I appreciate God so much for what He has blessed me with, that I am going to go out and try my best through my hands as a vessel to bless someone else with what I was given. I believe that is what I'm supposed to do. And I believe that that is what's good for everyone. And I believe that there is goodness in that. I am not a selfish person. And the selfish people at the top, I hope you get a wake-up call, because you guys are crashing this whole entire nation into nothing but smolder. We are living off of each other's vapors here. I am blessed enough to have a roof over my head and to have food in my tummy. And I do everything that I can to make sure that my children also have that. And I do everything that I can to enrich my family so that they have that, and they will always have that. Because when all else fails, my smartness, and hopefully their smartness that I impart on them, will be the bread that feeds them today and feeds them tomorrow. And if I can break off a couple dollars for that, to give to them, to help them, then I do. And God always gives it back to me. And I love to give it right back out. And they don't need to do work for me. The work that they do for me is to receive the message and to implement that. Because no matter what, I know I'm going to get my reward. And my reward comes from God. It doesn't come from other people. But guess what? It can come from other people. They can say thank you. And people do say thank you. And people do uplift and uphold. They do. I have faith in humanity, and I have faith in the future. And I believe that each one of us can save an entire country with a gallon of water. If we each get a gallon of water and give it to the next person.
Oh, now thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Send this to somebody else. If you have not put on your notifications, I need you to put your notifications on. I'm getting hot right now. I got so much in store for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really love and appreciate all of you for coming and seeing what I'm doing and receiving this message. Let's spread positivity throughout the world. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Yes, we can do it together. We can do it. Let's push back on this divisiveness and anger, and let's channel all this good energy into kickboxing and love. I regret nothing.